I believe that everybody has the right to bear arms.
Right. I do too.
mean,
I do
okay.
too. But I'll tell you,
and everybody has the right
laws.
in their state.
Every
they have the
law-abiding
right to
citizen
grow
has the
marijuana.
right.
They have the right. The 1937 Marijuana Tax Act was bad law, and it's being overturned state by state by state, and we're going to overturn it. And that's what we're going to see where Trump comes down, and hopefully Trump comes down and says we need to bring hemp back into this country again and make it great again.
Yeah.
Just like Jefferson and Washington were hemp farmers, we need to allow our farmers to use it. And if he
hemp
says
for
that,
commercial use, I agree. For commercial use, I agree. But also, for recreational,
and allow the recreational uses to be
decided
by the states.
I saw one report with the car accidents, with a lot of car accidents now involving marijuana.
The states, not the federal government. There's nowhere in the Constitution. It's not in pursuant to the Constitution. In fact, our forefathers were hemp farmers. It's decided by the states. The states decided. We are decided.
Okay, it's hard to discuss because you're going in a circle and you're saying the same things. You've got a mantra, but
you're saying the same things.
No, I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you right
now that
we are bringing it legal. You're trying to say I don't want it legal.
I'm telling you that there are federal laws in place that are going to prohibit what you're doing, and it's overreaching. It goes beyond marijuana. It starts getting into gun rights and everything else, even with your driver's license.
But you know what? Regardless, we are doing it.
Oh, we can't just regardless it. We can't clear the table off and say, we're going to make this legal. Yes, but it affects over here now.
The states have the right to...
State doesn't have the right to change federal law.
The 1937 Marijuana Tax Act is unconstitutional. It's not protected by the
Then that has to be decided in the Supreme Court. State doesn't have a right to stay on their own.
It doesn't have to be decided in the Supreme Court. It has to be decided by the states.
And the state can't dictate to the federal government.
Yes.
No, they can't. Then how come? Then why do we have a NICS system? Why do we have the Second Amendment in there, which is controlled by the ATF?
Well, you know what? Because the federal government's out of control many, many positions.
Oh,
you know what? I mean,
it spreads over more things.
Now, what about jobs? The federal government should be limited.
Now, for federal government, you're going to get a job in the federal government. They test you. They come up with recreational marijuana use. You're not going to get hired. Well, wait a minute.
Well, that's fine. I don't care. We shouldn't have that many federal employees.
Is it more important to be stoned in the corner and have a nice job?
We need to shut down most of those federal branches.
Then it's better than
we need to shut down the federal branches.
Then it's better to just be stoned and sit in the corner. Maybe write some songs for Bob Dylan.
Well, you know what? It's coming at you, buddy. Because I tell you what, legalization of marijuana is coming to the United States within the next 10 years.
It's more involved than what you think.
The whole country, and we're going to see where Trump stands. We're going to see where Sessions stands. I already see where you stand. I see where you stand.
I know where I stand. I'm looking at the whole picture, and it's more involved than what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I understand.
States' rights.
But if you're looking at
no, man, dude, light up a doobie, sit down and calm down.
It's a states' rights issue. It's a states' rights issue.
It's not a states' rights issue.
Yes, it is a states' rights issue. The 1937 Marijuana Tax is wrong. It's a states' rights issue.
And the federal government
and we're changing it state by state by state, whether you like it or not.
Well, we'll see.
Well, we are doing it. We'll see. We are doing it. We're seeing it. And we're going to see where Trump stands on it. That's where my question is, where does he stand on it?
He said,
conservatives are starting to believe that, yes, hemp should be legal, marijuana should be legal, or it should be a states' rights issue, not a federal issue.
Oh, it's right now. It's a federal issue.
And
Obama let them get away with it. There's a lot of stuff
it's not
Obama
a pursuit to the Constitution to take away a plant, to take away a seed from the human being. You're crazy, man. You are crazy if you're buying that logic. But keep on going on your route because there's a lot of idiots like you out there.
When you can't defend something, you insult. Well, that's fine.
Okay, I don't mean to call you an idiot, but
when
you take people and want to put people in cages for that, it's ridiculous.
I just know it's a larger picture than what you're looking at.
Listen.
Well, you know what? It is a larger picture.
You don't want to hear it.
And we are changing it state by state by state. I was out getting petitions today because we're going to get total legal in Florida. Medical this past election.
Hey, Mike, Ed believes in complete state rights. And so his feeling is that the federal government, most of it should be gone. And most
Yeah,
of
most of the DEA should be gone. It should not exist. That should be up to the states.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it's
Well,
gotta be,
you don't, but I do.
But well, you do. And then when you have that, you end up with liberal states that are out of control. Out of control.
Well, you already have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but states like
California,
Texas,
New York.
Well, California wants to. They got a petition going to succeed from the union.
they should.
I hope they do. They're not going to. It's not going to happen. But yeah, it's a nice dream. And some people latch onto it and go, "Oh, this will be great." Yeah, that's not going to last long. They're already broke. Where are they going to get the money from? And any shipping
I'm
and
not
anything,
saying
the
anything
money
on that.
that they
I'm
make.
just saying that's their dream. My dream is, to protect individuals from being thrown in cages because idiots think that planting a hemp seed should put a human being in a cage.
There's got to be more to to what you're trying to do than just worry about hemp and marijuana. It's one issue.
Of liberty, and you start taking away liberty from somebody, then it goes down and it snowballs.
well, you do have people who are
You start putting
life
people in
sentences.
cages for that. It's going back to Nemo, or first they came for the Catholics. I didn't speak up, or for the Jews. I didn't speak up because I was Jew. They didn't came to the Catholic, whatever. But
Hey,
I don't think anybody.
Was it called?
I don't think anybody really is going to dispute the idea that a lot of people in jail who probably shouldn't be in jail for marijuana.
Exactly. Let's get him out of there.
You have the don't forget
we
the
know what it
Gotta
was
get
like.
away from the attitude of your caller here. He's put people in cages because they grow.
He's not saying that neither.
Don't forget the Rockefeller law, which said 3 strikes and you're out. You're caught 3 times, you're in prison.
Well,
for life.
that's even worse than 3 strikes or out rule. But
And
that's
if
a state rule. That's
you-
not all states had that.
Yeah, but you see,
Sometimes
you're a
it's
state.
rights,
All right,
it's
but
state
you're
rules.
Ed. You're a states' rights person. Suppose you're living in a state where
Right.
that's the rule. I can understand why Mike said, you can't do away with the DEA or the ATF because then every state, if you're in a conservative state, then
Well,
they're
we'll
gonna.
see if Trump is supposed to be conservative, then he should get rid of the DEA. But of course, Nixon gave us the DEA, so I mean.
No,
It's
it
a
goes
terrible,
further than
terrible
that. Do you know anything about the Harrison Act? Do you know what
The
America was
Harrison
like
Act,
before?
1913. And you know what? The
1914.
Harrison Act sucked too. It's
Right.
People using things.
Did you read about the problems that they had in cities and all over the country
Oh,
before the
yeah,
Harrison
we
Act?
still
was
have. You don't think we have those problems today?
Yeah.
Drugs are always going to be a problem. Alcoholism is always going to be a problem. But you don't put people in cages for it.
But if we did away with the Harrison Act and made it so that people could buy cocaine and opium and whatever they wanted, heroin, and you could buy it over the
Right,
counter.
they were able to.
Do you know
before
what
the
would
Harrison
happen?
Act, anything they were able to buy. And there's,
Do
you
you
know
think
what?
the- do you think the
There's
American public
as a
is that-
libertarian,
is that
I believe
swift?
that drugs should be under the state level. And
Right.
some states might want to say we're going to try to control this way. Some states
Where anything
control
goes.
that way. That's where the
Anything
United
goes.
States of America.
And that's
But
the
here
attitude.
you
I'll tell
are.
you what.
You just want to keep bringing it up. You want to throw people in cages because they grow a marijuana plant. That's ridiculous.
Who brought that up again? Are you dreaming? No, honestly, I'm not putting you down. But did you already smoke a joint, or are you with me here, or are you drifting on me? I didn't say anything about putting people in a cage. You keep saying it.
Well, you know what? Then what are
Did
you
you
going to
already
say
smoke?
about it? You're going to say it's all right.
Did you already
to
smoke?
take-
I'm telling you that there's
I
a
mean,
larger picture here than what you see. But you don't want to hear it. You keep saying, "Oh, states' rights and grow hemp," and "Oh, it's a wonderful world." Take a hit.
Well,
I mean,
you know what? I'd be all right if it's not a state's right. I would be all right if they repealed the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act and say, United States, you can use hemp again.
Hemp, you can
Are
use
you all right?
marijuana.
Are you all right with that?
I'd say for commercial use only, I'd agree. Hemp has a lot of commercial
Okay. Well, there you
use,
go. For
but not
commercial
for-
across the
not for
country,
personal-
and then allow the state
not
to
for
decide
recreational
the other
use.
issue.
not
Would
for
you
recreational
allow,
use.
Are you all right with the recreational use?
No.
Decided by the state.
I don't think the American public. I see them as voters. I don't think they're smart enough or swift enough to even trust them with opening that Pandora's box up.
Well, it's already been open. I mean, there's a lot of states that are legal
And,
right now.
and the only thing that's covering them right now is the amount of money that Colorado and some of those states are making off of it.
Well, right.
And
And you know what?
That's the only thing that's covering them.
But you know what? It's moving in that direction. And
Right,
you're ridiculous to think you're going to stop it.
Well,
Because
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. The federal government comes in.
And
They
this
might
is
come
where
in.
we're going to see where Trump hits the fan, where
Right.
Sessions hits the fan.
Well, how do you
If
feel about?
there are probably binders full of law
Yep.
that are affected by that if they just trash that law. Binders that are affected, that it's going to across the board, that things that you're not even aware of. But you're not looking at any of that. You just want the ability to light up for personal recreation. You don't
I don't
care.
want the ability to light up. I want the ability of not people putting cages like you want them in cages.
No, he said.
I said
The
anything.
federal government
Ed, he
should not
never
be
said
involved
any.
in this.
Ed,
This
he
is a
He
state
never said
right
anything
issue.
about that.
And nowhere in the Constitution does it give them the right to do it.
he
And the
doesn't. He
37
never.
marijuana
Listen,
tactic.
Ed.
Hello.
Listen up. He
Yeah.
never said
Yeah.
he wants anybody to go to jail for smoke for
I don't
personal
want
use of
anybody to go to
marijuana.
jail.
Good. Then no more jail time, no more police time. The people can grow it. Thank you.
Not
We're
growing.
on our side.
What? No. What,
I mean,
On our side now.
Alaska had a rule that you were allowed to grow a certain amount for personal use, and they had no
You know
problems.
what?
up there.
Grow what you
Remember
want on your
that?
own problem.
They elected
and then
Sarah
they stopped
Palin.
it,
because they were all stoned.
and then
And
they
they
put it
elected
back in.
Sarah Palin, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they've experimented with it. They've seen it, but the American public, the American voter is not the average person that's out there. We see them in the streets right now, smashing and destroying stuff. A good example of some of this generation. You think I trust them?
You know what? They were
You think I
smashing
trust
and
a lot of
destroying
these people?
stuff back in the 70s when I was demonstrating. And believe me, it was a lot worse back in the 60s and the 70s than it is today. And you know what? The Vietnam War was wrong. You might believe the Vietnam War was right. The draft was wrong, and we got rid of that. And we're going to get rid of the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act.
How do you
Draft
feel
fraud.
about other drugs, Ed?
What's that?
How do you feel about other
the
drugs?
fact of the matter is, we need to
Heroin?
educate and treat drugs as a health issue, not as a criminal issue. And when we do that, we'll be a lot better off.
So the Harrison Act, you think that should be repealed also?
Oh yeah. The Harrison Act was bad.
So
And you know,
narcotics should be available
it's
over
not
the counter.
helping none. I mean, so we're an epidemic. You can have it illegal as you want. People are going to do drugs.
But it was
Fact
a
is
huge
life, you know,
epidemic.
get
There were
over it.
huge
And so what we
problems.
need to do is try to have people out there helping people.
How do you feel about what they do in Europe, where they actually provide
Yeah,
the
in Europe
drugs?
they don't really, but Europe, you know, it's like they'll help you on, and you know they're not going to put you in cages for it.
No, in
put
Europe
people
they
in
have countries
cages
that
for drug
well,
addicts.
no, listen to
they
me, Ed.
provide
Drug
you
addicts
with-
need help, not
Ed,
cages.
1 second. What they do in some of the countries in Europe is they actually have clinics where you can go in there and get a fix of heroin, whatever you're on.
Yeah.
But it's done
Well,
by
we have that here in the United States. There's methadone clinics all through the United States.
no. This is not
We
methadone.
realize that it's a problem. You know, what I mean, and they go there for treatment.
No,
And,
we're not
and that's
talking.
what we need to do is focus on treatment, not on incarceration.
No, we're not talking about treatment, Ed. We're talking about when they give people heroin. They give them whatever they're on, but what that does is it stops the illegal flow of the drugs, and
Yeah.
it's
Well, that too. Yeah, and that's a much better process than the DEA. The DEA needs to be eliminated. When Nixon created it, I went out to the DEA in D.C. and actually put up down with the DEA, legalized pot right now. You know, and that was back in 73 or 4. I can't even remember the year.
And it was
But,
all,
you know, it needs to be eliminated. DEA was bad from the get-go. It killed so many innocent people, incarcerated so many innocent people. It's not a Christian way.
in New York,
It's
in New
devious,
York,
evil way. We need to treat people righteously, not deviously in cages.
well, in
We
New
need
York,
to treat the people with the drug problem in a compassionate way.
well, I don't know if you were,
Compassionate conservative.
as a Floridian,
Passionate,
I don't know,
not cages. Passionate conservatism.
yeah,
I don't know
well,
if you heard of
yeah, that was Bush.
no, was that Reagan also?
No, that was
Oh no,
Bush was
yeah, you're right.
compassionate.
Oh, right,
But
yeah,
I
Rick
don't
was
know.
an idiot, man.
I don't know. I don't know if you're familiar with.
Well, his wife was. She's the one who started the war on drugs.